to the text. Yes. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so Cat in the Rain, have you read that? Have you looked at it? It's very short, as you can see. Anybody read it? Cat in the Rain, Ernest Hemingway, page 30 here in my booklet and your booklet, okay? So it seems that you are not in the mood to say anything today. I don't know. Okay, no problem. Yeah, can you hear me, boys and girls?
Yes, Mister.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, I've read it.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, let me really start with the story. Of course, as you can see, the story is quite simple, really, and quite short. Really very short in terms of short stories, nearly 2 pages or, well, 3 pages. Yeah, well, 2 pages really. It's supposed to be like 2 pages here. If you take away this part from this page, it's 2 pages. Now the story. What do you think? I mean, if you have read it, what do you think? It's about what? Yeah. Anybody? Any ideas?
I think.
Can you repeat the question, please?
I'm saying, what do you think the story is about? What is it? What is it about? Yeah, Sumaya and Suha wanted to speak.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I think it's about the woman who wanted to be seen, wanted to be taken care of.
Wanted to be seen and wanted to be taken care of. Yeah.
Yeah, or she wants to be to take care of someone else.
Or sorry.
Or maybe she wants to take care of someone else.
She herself wanted to take care of someone else.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, good
she
idea.
wanted a cat. Maybe the cat is a symbol for a baby, or it might be the cat itself.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. What else? Sumaya wanted to say something?
Maybe the cat symbolized the wife's loneliest, because the wife was lonely.
The cat symbolizes the wife's loneliness. Loneliness. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. And the cat, did she find the cat?
No.
So it means also the cat could symbolize what? To go back to Sumaya.
Yes, doctor.
If she couldn't find it, if she remember, well, she didn't find it, what does it mean? Any ideas? Any implications? The
I
sense
didn't
of
get what you're saying.
the sense of also it means could be the sense of loss. The sense of loss. What is she losing here? Is she really
Attention.
losing the cat itself or
No, something else.
Yeah, so really here it could be also the loss of completely something different than the cat. It's not really the exact physical cat that she's looking for. Correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Could be, could be. So yeah, I mean, the story really here is, as you can see, is quite short. Here we have a story about a man and his wife, you know, just a man and his wife, and that they are in a strange place. They are Americans traveling abroad in Europe, in Italy. They are staying in a hotel in Italy, and they are holiday makers. They are just tourists, and supposed to be, could be in a honeymoon, or could be just normal kind of, you know, tourists and traveling through you know, Italy. And the whole business of their trip or their journey or their stay in this little hotel for a night or for 1 day or 2 days could be, you know, full of meanings. And we have a lot of ideas associated about their characters, about their lives, or about their marriage, about their relationship, what kind of relationship, what kind of marriage, what kind of love, what kind of man, what kind of woman, and so on. You can ask all these questions, really big questions, heavy questions, you know, only in 2 pages. So here we have an example of a short story, which is really very short, you know, a short story which is very short, but it seems that it has a lot of ideas, really, a lot of meanings, or you can say, as we said, a lot of themes. Although we said before, remember, when we talked about theme, we said a short story normally should be about one main theme. You know, could be about a theme, about a certain theme. So here, really, we want to check, if you like, and see what kind of theme is this here, which is the main predominant theme in this story. Suha, what do you think the theme is about?
Relationship.
Relationship. Any relationship, you mean, or wife,
Couple relationship.
husband relationship?
It could be wife-husband relationship or self relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Any other ideas?
I think couple relationship.
Yeah, family relationship. Yes, couple relationship, family relationship. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so really, we'll read the story together here today, and I will show you, for example, the ideas which I'm looking for and the points we are really here, for example, looking for, and the kind of narrative and the kind of story and the kind of narrator and the kind of language and the kind of really style that our friend Hemingway is using. Okay, now let me read with you here, and I would like to ask you about, you know, those ideas and those comments that I'm thinking about here, of course, about the style and about the narrative. There were only two Americans stopping at the hotel. They did not know any of the people they passed on the stairs on their way to and from their room. Their room was on the 2nd floor, facing the sea. It also faced the public garden and war monument. There were big palms and green benches in the public garden. In the good weather, there was always an artist with his easel. Artists liked the way the palms grew and the bright colors of the hotels facing the sea. Italians came from a long way off to look up at the war monument. It was made of bronze and glistened in the rain. It was raining. The rain dripped from the palm trees. Water stood in pools on the gravel paths. The sea broke in a long line in the rain. The motor cars were gone from the square by the war monument. Across the square, in the doorway of the cafe, a waiter stood looking out at the empty square. Yeah. What do you think? Anything which would maybe any, I don't know, any linguistic, any stylistic, any structural, any narrative, any narratorial aspects, if you like, which may have drawn your attention about this paragraph? Any comments about it? Stylistic, narrative, linguistic, metaphorical, figurative,
Yes.
aspects. What do you feel when you read this? When I read this, what do you feel? What kind of language is this?
Narrative. It started with the characters, then it moved to the conflict. When the author said that there is, at the beginning of the story, I mean.
Yeah, who's speaking?
Sumaya, doctor.
Yeah, I was not looking at the names. Yeah. Okay, yeah, good. But what else? Who is speaking here? Who is
The narrator.
the narrator? What kind of narrator? What kind of narrator?
Third person narrator.
How do you know? How do you know?
Because he is only describing, not one of these two characters.
So he is describing, he's not a character. Yeah, very good. So yes, it is a third person narrator. So somebody, as if somebody is watching, right? As if somebody is looking at this and telling us information step by step about these two Americans, he said. There were only two Americans stopping at the hotel. There were. Again, so look at the sense. What tense is this? What kind of tense? The tense, the verb, the tense verb.
Past simple.
So the writer is using the simple past, is narrating about something that happened in the past. Yeah. What else? Any other comments about this passage when you read it? Have you noticed how I read it myself? Have you noticed how I read it myself?
Yeah, it sound depressed.
It sounds depressing. Well,
It's like a music.
it's like music. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. yeah, really the idea here I'm trying to say is, have you noticed that the narrative is straightforward, immediately giving information? Have you noticed that the language is very simple, and the language is also the shorter sentences? Notice the shorter sentences, sentences which are very short. And have you noticed also that there are meanings and there are things which are not given? You know, he's giving like snapshots. You know, there were two people, they didn't know. Their room was on the second floor. It faced the sea. There were big palms, you know, as if, you know, does not want to give more details, you know, as if the writer here or the narrator, the writer does not want to give us, you know, really a lot of details, because this image, this paragraph by any writer, this paragraph by any other writer in another novel, or maybe another longer or bigger short story, this paragraph could be written in 2 pages, could be stretched in 2 pages. But the writer here is very brief. Their room was on the second floor, facing the sea. He never spoke about the whole, you know, what kind of room, what kind of floor, what kind of hotel, how many people, what they are eating, how they are spending the time, what do they have in this room, how they are, etc. Again, you know, the second sentence and the third sentence, there were big palms and green benches in the public garden. Again, he did not give us details about the surroundings. He said just there is a garden. Again, he moved to the weather. He said, it is in the good weather, there were always an artist. Again, another shorter sentences, you know, you say, Italians came from a long way off to look at the war monument. What monument? Why is he talking about the monument? Again, there are a lot of details which are not given. A lot of summaries really here. He wants to give us more and more and more, but he did not. Just brief snapshots, brief sentences, short sentences. And we readers have to think and maybe to imagine the place and to say, what kind of monument is this? Why is he talking about war monument? And he said the rain, it made the bronze, the kind of monument made of bronze monument. And again, as if to say it was raining. Look again, the sentence, you know, just very, very short sentence. Again, the rain dripped from the palm trees. Water stood in pools. You know, I'm saying here the narrative is very short, is very condensed, is very brief. The style is very, as I said, compact, condensed, a lot of meanings packed in it, but he didn't give us that. You know, a lot of details needed to be given, but he did not give, and so on. Do you agree with me?
I do.
Yeah, when you know, because he wants to say, talking about the rain and the palm trees and the water pools, you know, and the gravel paths, and again saying that the question of the sea facing the city, and you know, he goes on to say about the motor cars were gone from the square by the war monument, as if to say that this place was full of people, but now they have all gone away. And you know, again, he's repeating about the war monument, you know, the effect and the place of this monument, and so on. And he immediately moved to tell us about the hotel and the if you like here, the waiter, the man, the cafe, if you like, or the waiter in this hotel, how he is, for example, looking at the whole scene. So in the first paragraph, you can say, well, this is a very nice little easy introduction by the third person narrator, who is telling us directly and straightforward a short, brief, compact narrative style in the third person narration, in the using the simple past tense, easy English, simple English. I think no figures of speech, for example, no really difficult language, very straightforward, very easy to understand. As I said, no real figurative language, isn't it? And the second paragraph, he moves on, the narrator. The American wife stood at the window looking out. Outside right under their window, a cat was crouched under one of the dripping green tables. Again, as I said, the way I'm reading it, I want you to feel that after each full stop, you need to stop and think, and maybe there are things you have to think about, and then you move on. This is the idea, because there are a lot of things which you may associate with this. We say the American wife. What wife? Who's she? We said the two Americans. He said only two Americans. When he said two Americans, now we know that this is one of these two Americans is a wife, the American wife. Okay. And now we know that there is a cat as well. The cat was trying to make herself so compact that she would not be dripped on. So again, a very short paragraph, as you can see, very short. It's about this cat, which is sitting under a table, and a cat trying to protect itself, as he said, crouched, as if you say again, compact, meaning as if to say, snuggled like that, not wanting any rain to drip on it. Although, of course, animals normally are not really worried about. Normally, animals, won't be worried about rain. So what? Why a cat should be so much worried about the rain? But still, this is again, we shall see again. It has meanings, and we will talk about that. I'm going down and get that kitty, the American wife said. I'll do it, her husband offered from the bed. No, I'll get it. The poor kitty is out trying to keep dry under the table. The husband went on reading, lying propped up with the two pillows at the foot of the bed. Don't get wet, he said. The wife went downstairs, and the hotel owner stood up and bowed to her as she passed the office. His desk was at the far end of the office. He was an old man and very tall. Yeah, again, notice the same thing. No details. Again, the very compact, short sentences, again, as if the narrator is not in the mood to give us any details. As if the narrator really is not in the mood to tell us anything about details. He is just giving us brief, shots, brief snapshots, as I said, to tell us what's going on here. So the wife here, again, he said the American wife. And again, he said her husband. she said immediately, I will go down to get the cat. And he said, I will get it for you. And she said, no, I will go down myself. And then he said, okay, don't get wet, And this is really the idea. And immediately when the wife went down, and we know that the husband is reading a book, went on reading what? Reading a book. And where is he reading? He's sitting on his bed, lying propped up with the two pillows at the foot of the bed. So he's stretched, as we say, lying on his bed and reading a book. And his wife standing at the window, and she looked out and she saw the cat, and she said, I'm going to get that cat. So notice here, we don't know anything about these people, no details given, no ideas, no details at all, what kind of people they are, and so on and so forth. As I said, we will have to fill in the gaps here. There are a lot of gaps left by the writer, and we readers have to fill in gaps. And I think this is, as we know in literary criticism, really this is the idea about our role as readers, is to fill gaps, because writers always leave a lot of gaps for us to read, to fill in. And this is what we mean sometimes about we have to read beyond the lines and between the lines to say, what kind of woman is this, and what kind of husband is this? What kind of book he's reading? Why he's not talking to her? Why she's standing on the window and not talking to her husband? Why her husband is only reading the book? What's wrong with him? Why is he reading the book? Why is he not talking to his wife or whatever? And no details, just as if they are not in the mood to talk, as if they are unhappy with their life, as if there's something wrong with them, and no details given, no argument. He said, okay, even he didn't say okay. He's just said, don't get wet, First he said, I'll do it, just one word or two words here. And then she said, no, I'll get it, And then he said, okay, he didn't say, okay, don't get wet, So here I'm telling you, really, in fiction, as I said, in real life, in narratives and in stories, we have to fill in gaps. Writers always leave gaps for us, and these are the gaps. He said, you ask yourself, what's wrong with him? Why he's not saying anything? Why he's not talking to his wife in a better way? Why the wife? What's the name of this wife? We are not given her name. What is he? What is she? And so on. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, because I wanted to see. Yeah, you are all here now because somebody. Yeah, you are all here. Because I was going to read the attendance, but I think you are all here. Correct? Yeah, I have 13 people and you are 13. Yeah, no need to read names. Yeah, okay. So let me go on and to read here again. The narrator is giving us a bit of information again about the owner of this hotel. He's a tall man. He's an old man, and he's a polite man who stood up and bowed to her. Stood up and bowed to her as she passed the office. Il Piuve, the wife said. She liked the hotel keeper. As if to say, notice the narrator immediately. And the narrator immediately said, she liked the hotel keeper. Why? What's wrong with her? What's, He stood up and said hi, or, you know, because he's a hotel keeper. Normally, if you are a business person, you have a hotel and your guests coming and going, you know, you just show respect and you show diplomacy and you show courtesy. Really, it's a matter of courtesy, because this is your job. This is your business to welcome your guests, because this is a hotel. And if you are an owner of a hotel, you want to show your clients, your people who stay in your hotel, because this is your job. You know, it's your business is to be polite and to be respectful and to show respect to your clients. You know, you are a client here, and you have been treated like a good client. And bowing and saying hi, or standing and bowing, only means you are respectful and you are diplomatic, if you like. It means you are just maybe diplomatic and showing courtesy and being nice and being polite, isn't it? So it's not a matter of liking or disliking. So why here the narrator, he said she liked the hotel keeper? Well, the hotel keeper was only doing his job.
He
Sì,
noticed.
signora, pronto tempo. It is very bad weather. He stood behind his desk in the far end of the dim room. The wife liked him. She liked the way he wanted to serve her. She liked the way he felt about being a hotel keeper. She liked his old, heavy face and big hands. What? Yeah. So what is going on here? Why the narrator is saying this to us? She liked. Why? She liked. Huh? She liked. Notice, he stood behind his desk, and then the wife liked him. She liked the way he wanted to serve her. She liked the way he stood or he felt about being a hotel keeper. She liked his old heavy face and big hands. Liking him, she opened the door. Come on, narrator. Come on, Hemingway. What's wrong with you? What are you going to say to us? Ahem, ahem. Is there ahem, ahem here?
No. It's because the wife's husband is very different from the hotel keeper. So it's notable the liking of the wives to the hotel keeper rather than her husband.
Yeah, okay, go on. Good, very good. Go on. Can you say more?
Because the wife she likes how the hotel keeper is ready to serve her, and he noticed her and he respects her. But her husband, he don't do these things to her, so she noticed immediately. So the narrator wants us to see how she likes the hotel keeper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other comments?
Also,
Yeah.
the writer showing us that the wife has some emotional issues.
Yeah. Okay, Anur. Yes.
There are a big gap between her and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, she considered the bowing of the owner. She considered it a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody writing in the chat. I don't know. Yeah, people writing. Yeah. Lack of attention. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, any more comments here?
Also, when he said she liked the way he felt about being a hotel keeper, maybe here he mean like when also her husband, he didn't feel the way how to be a husband. So she is like shocked how this person like knowing what he should do. So she is thinking why her husband don't feel his responsibility also.
Very good, yeah, Buthaina. Yes. Yeah. 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 Any more comments? So the narrator really, yeah. Yeah, really, this is good. I mean, what you're saying here really is very good and really correct in your own sort of analysis of this, because the way the narrator gave this as one paragraph as a form of comparison, you know, comparing her husband, of course, indirectly here, because when the narrator says stood and liked and liked and liked, as if to say, look at this man here, he's an old man and he's only a hotel keeper, and he knows what he's doing, he likes his job, he enjoys his job, he respects his job, and he cares for his job, and he's proud of his job, and you know, and everything about his position and the respect that he's showing to his position and so on. So she is really admiring everything about him in contrast to her husband, as if to say, well, my husband, you know, doesn't have all this. My husband lacks all this. My husband needs to do all this. The attention, the way and the manner in which he should take care of her, and so on. Notice the narrator again, liking him, she opened the door and looked out. Again, you know, beginning the new paragraph by saying liking him, as if to say, well, keep in mind that really she really liked this man because only she wants to see the sharp contrast with her husband, not because she's a bad woman looking at other men. No. She's just saying, you know, in her mind, that look at this man who is a hotel keeper, who's proud of his job, who is a nice man in every respect, respectful man, honorable man in all kinds of ways. And, you know, the effect here on her, that's why the narrator begins the next sentence saying, liking him. She opened the door, right? And looked out. It was raining harder. A man in a rubber cape was crossing the empty square to the cafe. The cat would be around to the right. Perhaps she could go along to the eaves. As she stood in the window, an umbrella opened behind her. It was the maid who looked after their room. Again, notice here the information. The information we have to fill in here. The what maid? Why umbrella? Who sent her? Why you know, to be given help, you know, to use to protect herself from rain. You must not get wet, she smiled, speaking Italian. Of course, this is the maid here saying to the lady, to the wife. You must not get wet, she smiled, speaking Italian. Of course, the hotel keeper had sent her. You see, immediately the narrator again said, of course. Of course. So why not, of course, the husband? Of course, the hotel keeper had sent her. Well, yeah, because the maid works in the hotel. And normally maids, you know, workers in the hotel take orders from their from their boss, the owner of the hotel. But still, as a guest, you can also ask a waiter to do something for you. But again, the narrator really wanted to highlight the idea that this hotel keeper is a very good man in every respect. He knows his job and he's doing his job properly. With the maid holding the umbrella over her, she walked along the gravel path until she was under their window. The table was there, washed bright green in the rain, but the cat was gone. She was suddenly disappointed. The maid looked up at her. And of course, she spoke Italian, saying, where is the cat, Senora? As if to say. And of course, she said, there was a cat, said the American girl. What? Why here, American girl? Now she's a girl or a wife? Why girl? Suha?
Maybe because she is acting like a child.
Yeah, interesting. Acting like a child, yeah. What else?
Or maybe she thinks that the maid didn't believe her at the first place.
Yeah, narrator saying girl, the American girl. Why not saying the American wife? He said 3-4 times to us, American wife, and now saying the American girl. Isn't it?
Can I talk?
Yeah, of course.
Because as the wife grows, the perspective of the author grows with her. And I think he started mentioned her as a girl because certain perspective of the author changes while the wife grows.
But do you grow normally from a girl to a wife or from a wife to a girl?
No, I mean at first she acted like a big girl. Then when she lost the cat, she tried to act like a girl, like a youngest girl.
Yeah.
That's why the author starts mentioned her as a girl.
Yeah. Interesting. Yes. What? Any other comments?
Maybe.
Yeah, Hanin. Oh.
Yes, I think because at this position, it is a hard position for her because the outside is raining. So her husband must go with her, but he didn't. So I think that the narrator mentioned her as a girl, not a wife.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments?
Maybe because the narrator tells us about this woman, but far from her husband. When she's near from her husband, he called him a wife.
He called her a wife.
But
and when she's away,
yes.
Yeah, possible. Yes. Yeah. Really, all of what you have said could be true. But yes, really to say again, because of the behavior, if you like, because at the situation here, when she's speaking to the maid, and then the maid said, a cat, and she's saying, yeah, a cat, the cat. The maid laughed. Again, the maid was laughing, as if to say, your behavior is very childish. Your childish behavior. Are you down to Are you getting down and getting into the rain for the sake of a cat? Are you serious about it? Really? Are you down only for a cat? A cat? You know? And then she said, a cat in the rain? Are you crazy? Are you a child, or what's wrong with you? You coming down from your room to find a cat in the rain? Is that true? You know? And the wife said, yes, she said, under the table. No, I wanted it so much, I wanted a kitty. You know, saying this to the maid, I wanted it so much. Why so much? Why? You know, the maid would say, what? Why? What do you want? What do you want the cat for? You say, I wanted it so much. I wanted a kitty. You know, the maid here, really, the maid would be surprised to say, you know, why do you need a cat? You know, you wanted it so much. What do you mean so much? I wanted it desperately. I really wanted it. You know, in what way and why? When she talked English, the maid's face tightened. You know, here he is describing the Italian maid. When the Italian maid spoke in English, he said, her face, you know, tightened, you know, again, commenting on the attitude of course, here, the way, for example, Italians or whatever is speaking here, if you like, or, you know, is comparing the English way or the American way, or the Italian way, and if you like here, comparing mentalities and attitudes and societies and the way Americans speak or the way Americans behave compared to Europeans and Italians here. And, you know, that's why he's saying, you know, about this question here. Come, senora, she said, we must get back inside. You will be wet. You know, here the maid speaking in English again. Come, senora, she said, we must get back inside. I suppose so, said the American girl. So again, you know, he's using the word American girl and American wife. Again, later on, I will show you, and we will discuss this, that really even by just saying American girl and American wife is a matter of respect or not respect, or importance or not importance, or neglect or, you know, not neglect, or caring or not caring, you know, about her in so many ways, especially later on when we shall see that the husband's name is mentioned, whereas she was not. So we will see this in a minute. They went back along the gravel path and passed in the door. The maid stayed outside to close the umbrella. As the American girl passed the office, the padrone bowed from his desk. Again, padrone, which is again the hotel keeper. So I think it's an Italian expression or Italian word used here in English in the same way, meaning the owner or the hotel keeper, right? Which is really in a funny sort of way here to of course, use this in Italian, because remember, I think we should mention here that Ernest Hemingway here himself, really the writer, spent most of his life really in Europe, and he moved from so many, I think, into so many different places in Europe as an American man in real sense. So he knows, you know, the real experience with the European people. Something the padrone bowed from his desk. Something felt very small and tight inside the girl. Something felt very small and tight inside the girl. The padrone made her feel very small and at the same time really important. She had a momentary feeling of being a supreme importance. Momentary feeling of being of supreme importance. She went on up to the stairs. Sorry, she went on up the stairs. She opened the door from the room, opened the door of the room. George was on the bed reading. Yeah. Boys and girls, if I give you this passage like that, huh? Now in yellow, can you see it?
Yes.
If I say this to you in the exam and I say comment on this passage. When I say comment, means say anything you like, anything you feel about meanings, ideas, language, structure, narrator, style, anything. About ideas, about themes, about characters, and so on and so forth. What would you say? You know, the exam is very close. We now in week 5.
Can I answer?
Yeah, of course.
I would say that the reaction of her husband while she enters the room, while he was laying on the bed, he's not paying attention to his wife, is not like the hotel keeper who raised for her and he bowed to her when she passed away. It's not the same attitudes between the hotel keeper and her husband.
Yeah.
Yes, and he don't care when she said that she can't find the cat. He's like, okay, then he kept reading. He didn't even ask her like how and why and where she's gone. He just kept reading.
Yeah, very good, Sumaya. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Any more comments?
I noticed that the writer mentioned the husband's name in the first time here. What's that?
Yeah. Okay, Razan. Okay, boys, where are you, my friends? Ahmad and I don't know. Ahmad, we have 2 Ahmads. Come on, boys. No comments, boys? Okay. Well, first of all, when you see a passage like this, you have to tell me the following. You say, this passage is quoted or is taken from the short story Cat in the Rain by the American writer Ernest Hemingway, full stop. This passage is quite important because it tells us a lot about the narration and about the style of this writer Hemingway, full stop. The passage is narrated by a third-person narrator who knows everything, who gives us details about the characters and the story and the ideas and so on. This passage reveals the main idea about the American wife in contrast to her husband. The passage really tells us a lot about the kind of relationship between the man and his wife, the American wife and the husband George. And we say here, in contrast to the hotel keeper. The passage here highlights the importance of how the hotel keeper treated her in a very respectful, great way, making her feels great. You know, something felt very small and tight inside the girl, as if to say, the girl now feels as if really she feels completely powerful and great and important, and she is really a big important figure, as if, notice, something tight inside her, as if by just feeling that she's a wife and she needs a baby to be inside her. What's inside her? Something small and tight inside the girl. What is inside? As if she wants to think that I'm a wife, but I have no children. I want a child. And this man is not giving me a child. My husband, George, is not giving me that child. Something very small and tight inside the girl. The padrone made her feel very small and at the same time really important. He looked at her as a young girl and he respected her as a young girl, but yet at the same moment he made her feel, you are a girl, you are a wife, and you are a good girl, and you should be respected, you should be taken care of, you should be more, you know, taken care of, and so on. And now she had a momentary feeling of being of supreme importance. Now, because of this, she feels absolutely great for the first time, thinking that she's a wife, but she's not behaving as a wife. She is a wife, but she's not acting as a wife. She needs a baby, but she's not having a baby. And now she remembers. That's why, you know, here the narrator is saying, So she went up there, you know, feeling that, come on, we are not doing what we should be doing. We are missing something really, really important, and we have to do it. So this is an indirect invitation by the narrator to say, hey, wake up, you people, man and wife. You are not being man and wife enough. You are not good man and wife enough. And George, here again, this passage tells us about the negative, absolutely negative, terrible character of George, who is always reading on his bed. Bed. He's not reading on a table or on a desk, but on the bed. Sitting on the bed, reading. Did you get the cat? He asked, putting the book down. It was gone. Wonder where it went to, he said, resting his eyes from reading. She sat down on the bed. I wanted it so much, she said. I don't know why I wanted it so much. I wanted that poor kitty. Isn't it any fun to be a poor kitty out in the rain? Sorry, it isn't any fun to be a poor kitty out in the rain. You know, here again, she's talking to her husband and questioning as if to say, I really don't know why I wanted that cat. What do you think? What do you think I wanted? Why do you think I wanted that cat? What's in my mind here? What do you think? You know, she's asking her husband this. Well, you know, as if to say, why am I worried about this cat? George was reading again. What? So she asked him a question. His answer was what? Nothing. He kept on reading. He kept on reading. George was reading again. She went over and sat in front of the mirror of the dressing table, looking at herself with the hand glass. She studied her profile, first one side and then the other. Then she studied the back of her hair, of her head and her neck. Don't you think it would be a good idea if I let my hair grow out? She asked, looking at her profile again. Don't you think it would be a good idea if I let my hair grow out? So this girl here is having a haircut, maybe like my hair, you know, it's even shorter maybe, like a boy's hair. Well, normally girls, they have long hair, you know? Yeah. George looked up and saw the back of her neck clipped close like a boy's. So her neck, as I said, like my neck here, like any boy, you know, like even my hair maybe could be longer than her hair. Is that normal? Is that normal for girls to have haircut like boys?
No.
Honestly, do you like to have a haircut like a boy? I mean, maybe you will not tell me now. I'm sure you will not. But do you have you ever felt that you want a haircut like a boy?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Really, this is the same. This is the same thing, as if to say, yeah. Maybe I'm not behaving like a wife. Look at me. I'm behaving like a boy, you know, with a short hair like a boy, you know. And notice George, as I said, looked up and saw the back of her neck clipped close like a boy's. I like it that way. I like it the way it is. Of course, that's what he said. I get so tired of it, she said. I get so tired of looking like a boy. Why don't you have a long hair if you are so tired? Huh? Who made you feel like that? Why don't you have a long hair? I get so tired. Who forced you into it? Who forced you into it? Huh? George shifted his position in the bed. He hadn't looked away from her. He hadn't looked away from her since she started to speak. You look pretty darn nice, he said. As if she, oh, you look fine. Really, you look lovely. Darn nice, means very nice. She laid the mirror down on the dresser and went over to the window and looked out. It was getting dark. I want to put my hair back tight and smooth and make a big knot at the back of it that I can feel, she said. I want to have a kitty to sit in my lap and purr when I stroke it. Sorry, even to say stroke her, the cat. I want to put my hair back tight and smooth and make a knot back, a knot, you know, like a horse tail, huh? Like a horse tail, she said. I want to have a kitty to sit on my lap and purr when I stroke her. Yeah? Huh? Wallah. Wallah alayki. Isn't it? Yeah? George
Yeah.
said, George said from the bed, if I want to translate this to Arabic, I would say, Ismallah alayki, Ismillah alayki. Huh? Isn't it? Of course, in a sarcastic way, he wants to say, really? Is that what you want? And then, of course, she said, and I want to eat at a table with my own silver, and I want candles, and I want it to be spring, and I want to brush my hair out in front of a mirror, and I want a kitty, and I want some new clothes. Oh, shut up and get something to read, George said. He was reading again. Suhan,
Yeah, doctor.
what's this?
He don't want to listen to her
Yeah,
anymore.
he said, you say shut up? Why do you say this to your wife, shut up?
And he also think that everything can be solved with reading.
Why should he say, اخرسي يا حرمة, اخرسي, shh, quiet. What? Oh, shut up and get something to read? La ilaha illallah. Okay, I will stop here. Yeah?
I want to say that he don't care about what she thinks, and
He
her
does,
appearance depends on what he wants and what he like.
he does not care at all about her, yeah? Yeah, especially when he's saying shut up. Shut up. This is a bad thing to say to anybody. Means completely, not a single word. Shut up. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. This is not polite at all to say this to your wife. Never say this to your wife, boys. It's very bad to say this to a wife. Shut up. Why should she shut up? And she wants something really natural and normal. She's not childish. And you say, shut up and get something to read? Why? Is my life reading? Anyway, I will continue this next time, and I will stop recording. And I think that's it for today, boys.